My name is Emily Parker, and what happened to me last summer at the Dallas International Airport still feels like a surreal movie I never auditioned for. It started as an ordinary travel day, one that would change how I viewed judgment, patience, and human compassion forever. I had just graduated from college and was heading to New York City for my first real job interview at a marketing firm. I packed everything neatly, wearing my favorite pastel blue dress, a simple, knee-length cotton one my mom gave me when I turned 21. It made me feel confident and mature, like I could take on the world. When I arrived at the airport, it was crowded. People were running to gates, dragging luggage, clutching coffee cups. I remember standing in line at the security checkpoint, thinking about how adult I finally felt, until the moment that changed everything. As I approached the metal detector, I placed my phone, shoes, and purse into the tray. A security guard, Officer James Miller, looked at my boarding pass and smiled politely. "First time flying alone?" he asked. I nodded nervously. "Is it that obvious?" He chuckled. "You're doing fine. Just follow the instructions and you'll be good." But when I stepped through the detector, the machine beeped, twice. I froze. The people behind me sighed impatiently. Officer Miller gestured for me to step aside for a manual check. A female guard, Officer Linda Hayes, walked over. She was middle-aged, kind-eyed, and professional. "Ma'am, we're just going to do a quick pat-down. Nothing to worry about." I nodded, but my heart was pounding. The alarm had gone off again when she scanned my waist area. She frowned slightly and said, "It might be a sensor glitch, but we need to be sure." Before I could say anything, another officer approached, someone senior, judging by his badge. "We may need to ask her to remove her dress for a visual check in a private screening room," he said calmly but firmly. The crowd nearby went silent. I could feel eyes turning toward me. My cheeks burned. Remove my dress. That sounded humiliating, but I also knew they had protocols. Officer Hayes noticed my panic. "Don't worry," she said softly. "This will be handled privately and respectfully. You'll have 2 female officers with you. No cameras, no one else." Still trembling, I followed them to a small inspection room. The walls were white, sterile, almost too clean. They asked me to stand behind a curtain and remove my dress while keeping my undergarments on. It wasn't inappropriate, but it was uncomfortable, mostly emotionally. When I handed them the dress, they ran a scanner across it. A strange metallic sound beeped again near the waist seam. Officer Hayes's brow furrowed. "What's this?" she murmured, feeling inside the fabric. Then she pulled out a tiny metal security tag, the kind stores use to prevent theft. I gasped. That must have been sewn in accidentally. I bought it on sale at a thrift shop. The officers looked at each other and smiled. "Well, mystery solved," Hayes said. "You're free to go, Miss Parker." Relief washed over me so hard I nearly cried. I put my dress back on, and before I left, Officer Hayes gently touched my shoulder. "You handled it better than most people would have. I know it's embarrassing, but sometimes these things happen." When I stepped back into the airport crowd, I felt eyes on me again, but this time, I didn't care. I had nothing to hide. At the gate, I spotted Officer Miller again. He gave me a thumbs up. All good, I replied, finally smiling. On the plane, as the clouds drifted past the window, I thought about what had happened. For a moment, it had felt unfair, invasive, even humiliating. But now I saw it differently. Those guards weren't trying to embarrass me, they were doing their job, keeping everyone safe. When I landed in New York, I texted my mom about the incident. She was furious at first, but when I told her the truth and how kindly the officers had treated me, she softened. "I guess sometimes," she said, "life teaches patience in the most unexpected places." That night in the hotel, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the scene in my head, my fear, their professionalism, and that tiny tag that caused all the chaos. It reminded me how easily misunderstandings can grow when people jump to conclusions. The next day, I aced my job interview. When the manager asked if I could handle pressure, I almost laughed. "You have no idea," I said. 2 weeks later, I got the call. I'd been hired. I couldn't help thinking that the airport incident, humiliating as it had been, somehow prepared me for life's unexpected turbulence. Months later, I wrote a blog post about it titled, "The Day Security Asked Me to Take Off My Dress and Why I Thank Them for It." It went viral, not because it was scandalous, but because it was human. I received hundreds of messages from travelers who had gone through similar misunderstandings and felt embarrassed or mistreated. Many thanked me for sharing a story that showed the other side, that sometimes, security checks, while uncomfortable, are done with genuine care. Officer Hayes even emailed me after finding the blog through her daughter. "Thank you for not making us look like villains," she wrote. "You made me proud of what we do. And that, more than anything, meant the world. Today, whenever I pass through an airport, I take a deep breath and smile. The beeping detectors no longer scare me. They remind me that life, much like travel, is unpredictable, but if you meet it with patience and respect, you'll always get through security in the end."